Have you ever said something and instantly regretted it? Maybe it was a word spoken in anger, a rushed reaction toward someone you love, a snap decision that cost you days, weeks, or even years to recover from. The truth is, in so many situations, we're not really acting, we're just reacting. Because when emotions surge, the brain switches to survival mode. Fight, flight, or freeze. And suddenly we speak, act, or decide just to relieve the pressure immediately. But here's the thing. Just 1 minute of pause can help you avoid all those unconscious reactions. 1 minute to breathe. 1 minute to identify your emotion. 1 minute to ask yourself a simple question. What's the right response, instead of the wrong reflex? High voltage sign. This is the 1 minute mindfulness rule. A simple principle that can transform how you live, communicate, and make decisions in the moments that matter most. If you've ever been trapped in the cycle of anger and regret, if you want to train yourself to respond with clarity instead of emotion, right pointing back hand index, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss these small rules that lead to big changes only on Everyday Momentum. And drop a comment below. I choose to pause for 1 minute before I react. Part 1. Why do we react instead of responding? Have you ever asked yourself, why did I say that, even though I knew I shouldn't? Or after doing something impulsive, you muttered, God, I wish I had thought it through just a bit more. The answer isn't that you lack self-control. It lies in how your brain is wired. Emotional reflexes, the brain's autopilot mode. When you're triggered by criticism, rejection, or overwhelming pressure, your brain immediately activates the amygdala, the center responsible for emotions and survival. The result? You react defensively, much like how early humans responded to danger. Some people explode, yelling or saying hurtful things. Others shut down, avoiding, withdrawing in silence. Some freeze, paralyzed and unable to respond. And all of this happens before you even have time to think. Because emotional reflexes are faster than rational responses. Just like flinching when a ball flies at your face, your body reacts before you process it logically. Warning sign # the cost of living in reaction mode. The problem is, our ancient survival reflexes don't always serve us in modern life. At home, you snap and say something cruel, just because you were frustrated for a moment. At work, you hit send on a harsh email, then spend the whole week regretting your tone. In life, you make a poor decision simply because you were too emotional or too rushed. And suddenly, you pay the price of 5 seconds of reaction with 5 days, 5 weeks, even 5 years of regret. Bullseye. So how do you break the reflex loop? The answer is simple, but incredibly powerful. Pause. When you pause, even just for 60 seconds, you give your brain a chance to switch from emotional reactivity to rational response. In scientific terms, you shift control from your amygdala to your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, reflection, and intentional behavior. In other words, you exit survival mode and re-enter a state of conscious control. Key and no, you don't need an hour of meditation. Just 1 minute. 1 minute is enough. To change what you're about to say. To rethink what you're about to do. To replace regret with the pride of a thoughtful, intelligent response. Part 2. 1 minute, small enough to ignore, powerful enough to change everything. 1 minute, it sounds like nothing in today's busy world. We spend hours on our phones, weeks grinding at work, and years fixing our mistakes. But rarely do we give ourselves even 1 minute to pause and think before we react. So, what can a single minute actually change? Stopwatch # 1 minute to shift your brain into intentional mode. Neuroscientists have shown that just 60 seconds of slow, deep breathing can lower activity in the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for emotional reactivity, and re-engage the prefrontal cortex, the center for logic, reasoning, and thoughtful decisions. Right pointing back hand index. In that 1 minute, your body begins to reset. Right pointing back hand index, your heart rate slows down. Right pointing back hand index, your brain regains its ability to think clearly. It's no longer a knee-jerk reaction. It becomes a conscious response. Pushpin, picture this. You've just been hit with a sarcastic comment from a coworker. Anger flares. Your fists clench. Your mouth is ready to launch a verbal dagger. But you don't. You pause. You take a deep breath. And you count, slowly, to 60. And in that 1 minute, you might suddenly realize, I'm letting my emotions take the wheel. I'll regret this if I lash out now. I can choose a smarter response. And when you finally speak, your tone is different. It's no longer a blade, it's steady resolve. It's not retaliation, it's self-control. #1 minute is also a practice of true freedom. Because here's the truth. Freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you feel like. Freedom means knowing you're being pulled, but choosing not to follow. When you pause for 1 minute, you are. Stop sign taking back control from your emotions. Reclaiming the role of leader instead of follower. Shield creating a safe space between stimulus and response. And in that space, you find maturity. Explosion symbol, the reality. Many high-level leaders, educators, and elite coaches practice this 1 minute rule daily. Not to suppress their emotions, but to manage them with mastery. Because they know. Reaction is instinct. Response is strength. Part 3, Real-World Application of the 1 minute rule, Mastering Emotions in Any Situation. If you've only heard of this rule, you might think it sounds great, but a bit too theoretical. Because in real life, when emotions surge, who actually remembers to stay silent for 60 seconds? But the truth is, emotionally mature people aren't those who never get angry, panicked, or hurt. They're the ones who know how to pause before emotion takes over their behavior. And you can absolutely do the same. If you know when to apply the 1 minute rule. Check mark 1. When you're about to argue with a partner, family member, or friend. Relationships rarely break because of one disagreement. They break because of one wrong reaction at the wrong time. When you're about to say something hurtful, pause for 1 minute. Don't retaliate with words. Don't try to win with emotions. Just breathe. Just listen. Ask yourself, do I want to win, or do I want to be understood? That 1 minute could save an entire relationship. Check mark 2. When you're about to make a big decision, under stress. Most of the bad decisions we regret in life happen when we're too emotional or too rushed. You feel pressure. You want to get it over with. You want relief. But remember, acting fast doesn't mean acting right. Take just 1 minute to slow down. Ask yourself, why am I really making this decision? What am I missing? A year from now, will I be proud of this choice, or regret it? 1 minute of pause can save you from years of consequence. Check mark 3. When you're overwhelmed by negative emotions, sadness, disappointment, or self-criticism. Sometimes, the emotion isn't caused by others. It's caused by you turning against yourself. You feel inadequate. You beat yourself up over a small mistake. You want to run, shut down, or break everything apart. In that exact moment, sit down. Take 3 deep breaths. Stay quiet for 1 minute. Not to force yourself to be strong, but to give yourself a chance to heal. Because you can't conquer emotion by avoiding it. You can only move through it with mindfulness. Bullseye, and here's something powerful. Some of the most successful people you know aren't the smartest, fastest, or strongest. They're the ones who know how to pause at the right moment. 1 minute before reacting is one step toward becoming the wiser version of yourself. Part 4. Turn the 1 minute rule into a daily habit, not just emotional control, but life mastery. Applying the 1 minute rule in specific situations is powerful. But if you only use it when things go wrong, chances are you'll forget it when you need it most. Because in emotional overload, your instincts run the show, not your logic. So, to truly turn this into a positive reflex, you need to train it daily. Let the 1-minute rule become more than a coping tool. Let it become a way of living. 1. Embed 1 mindful minute into the transition points of your day. There are moments throughout the day that are perfect for practicing the 1-minute rule. Before starting your workday. Before entering a meeting. Before replying to an important email or message. Before walking through the door to see your family after a long day. Right pointing back hand index. These transitions are mental bridges. Chances to reset your focus and step in with intention. Just 1 minute is enough to realign your priorities. Choose your attitude instead of defaulting to reactions. 2. Make that 1 minute a ritual of awareness. Let that minute be something sacred. Sit up straight. Place your hand on your heart or stomach. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. And ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I about to do? Is there a better choice I can make? Gradually, you won't just shift your behavior. You'll reshape your inner world, your identity, and the way you live. Counterclockwise arrows. 3. Repeat it long enough to build a new inner strength. Habits are only formed through intentional repetition. Don't wait for chaos to practice the 1-minute rule. Use it even on calm days, especially on calm days. Pushpin. Try this. Set 3 daily reminders on your phone. Pause for 1 minute. Before replying to messages, silently count down from 60. While waiting for the elevator or the bus, don't scroll, just breathe. Electric light bulb. What you do in that single minute might seem small. But if you repeat it long enough, it will reshape who you are. You'll no longer be the person who reacts with emotion. You'll become the person who responds with clarity, strength, and wisdom. And that builds a new version of you. More grounded. More trustworthy. More in control of your life. 1 minute won't change the world, but it can change you. You don't need a perfect plan to transform your life. All you need is a moment where you choose to pause. Just 1 minute, enough to stop a reckless reaction. 1 minute, enough to hold back words that could hurt someone. 1 minute, enough to prevent the damage of a relationship, a chance, or even your own self-image, all because of a passing emotion. Bullseye. And those quiet minutes, repeated daily, will teach you patience, help you grow, train you to live with intention, not impulse. You won't be the person swept away by circumstance. You'll be the one who takes ownership of your reactions, and from there, ownership of your life. Speech balloon. If you're searching for a way to change yourself, don't just chase the big breakthroughs. Start with the smallest pause. Because sometimes, it's not the leap forward. But the moment you stop, that marks the beginning of real change. If you believe that 1 mindful minute can change your life, right pointing back hand index. Drop a comment below. I choose to pause for 1 minute before I react. And don't forget to thumbs up sign like to share this message. Bell subscribe to join Everyday Momentum every week. Speech balloon. Share your story, because every experience is a new source of inspiration.